Hello and welcome. We're going to be starting a new run of Shadow Empire today. This is on, as we can see here, version 1.2.7 or 1.27C, which is the current version as far as Shadow Empire is concerned, with the Planetary Conquest and the base Ocean DLC installed. Today we're going to be playing what was the other tie in the most recent Reddit poll, which was Fontus Some Aliens with Mayhem. Let's go ahead and start a new game. This is a standpoint. This is a thing that sometimes takes a little bit of time to launch. Um, it may also be because I just moved a bunch of save files. Basically moved the save files from the previous run to a different folder. So maybe may have pulled something that I shouldn't have, which might be making me take a little longer. Hopefully it's not too loud. If it is too loud, that's probably due to me moving something that I probably wasn't supposed to. So what did I leave for the settings here? So we want to be doing the Oceania, and it's going to be the Fontus. And what size did I say I was going to do it on? Check my Reddit post. Probably medium sized. Yeah, looks like medium sized. We're going to be focusing on getting some aliens here on the Fontus class. With Mayhem mode turned on. So we're going to do Mayhem mode. I guess the last one had everything in common. I might explain why there's so many factions. I'm going to do my usual severe violence with. We'll leave low resources and outpost colony off, but spread out. So spread out, severe violence, and mayhem mode is what we're going to be doing here. The run before last, we were doing outpost colony and low resources, which was a very interesting start, although the AI, at least the way we rolled it, had a little bit of a struggle with that. We'll tag alien life on because the whole description of this run, which is Fontus some aliens, implies we want some aliens. This shouldn't, on Fontus, shouldn't do anything because Fontus already has some aliens. In fact, it's probably too late to. I'll take them on the risk. Come back, start a new game so we can see what the description is on Fontus. I think Fontus comes with a default of likely having some aliens on it. Planet that have an abundance of oceans, rainfall, and forests. These planets are greener than good old Earth, and life forms are as good as guaranteed. So, we're going to basically guarantee our life forms. We're also going to guarantee that they're reasonably scary. We're going to reroll until we have like hostility like 6+ at least. Although I've been getting the bad habit of having like 8s on the last couple worlds, so it wouldn't be that bad if they were a little low on the threat range. We're doing detailed planet generation. Usually because I just like to see what the planet generation is, not often because I do much about it. We're going to do complete Fog of War, 1 human player, city start with the militia. I'm going to leave the story modules on. Sometimes I contemplate taking the crime syndicate and the corporations off because corporations I kind of just ignore and use them to buff commerce, and the crime syndicate I usually just suppress. So usually they don't do much. We're going to go to slow game speed. We're going to do Tech 3 start. This obviously has Oceania. This is an Oceania map. And I play on hard difficulty. And we give the AI more time to think. And I don't need the easier logistics, and I don't mind the epics. Okay, so these are the choices here. None of the game variants on. We like to see what the planet generation is. Fog of War is complete because I can usually play any map. So we sometimes will go complete after colonization if we want to make sure like there's continents or something like that. But we're gonna take the default Fontus here, other than some very specific choices. Unology here, we got a 26-degree tilt, so this is gonna have pretty good seasonal variations. 12C, so it's not cold, but it's not super hot. If anything, this is actually a little bit on the colder side, so we're going to get some pretty large poles. Decent solar radiance, so the solar panels should be decent if there's not a lot of rain. There probably is going to be a lot of rain. This is a medium-sized world, so it's only about 165 diameter circumference. 165 circumference, wide around. And then we have a little bit reduced heavy elements, so some of the mining will be a little bit less effective. I'd like to have some mountains, so we're going to do a reroll here. I don't want as many mountains as last time, which was like half mountains, half flat. Want a little bit of mountains, please. Like 1%, 2%. Not 0. We might get stuck with 0. Do one last reroll, and if I don't get any mountains, I'll just accept it. Maybe a little more land than that, though. Want some stuff to fight over. 24% will be fine. Okay. So, most of the map is actually going to be oceans. That makes sense. This is a Fontus world. It's an oceanic world. And apparently we got very little topography on our flat areas. Our land areas. Atmos hazard, imperfect, which is fine. Xenobological hazard, aggressive. Atmos forming hazard is toxic. 0 value for the alien tissue. Nutrition, so we can't eat the people. Vegetation is cloud forest. Impaired vitals. No sentient life, but that would be fine. Is the tab where I can see what the alien threat level is? I suppose this is the biosphere before colonization. Yeah, I think this is the biosphere before colonization. So we'll continue for the moment. Worst case, I'll have to start over from the start. Let's start over from the beginning in this planetary creation. Yeah, I might have to start over from the beginning. We'll see. Colonized that year. Almost 500,000 colonists. Not bad. We could probably roll until we get into the billions if we really wanted some colonists. Am I missing where I check? I remember being able to check what the hazard rating is on the aliens. Auxiliary. Auxiliary alien. Okay, so we're gonna have to do a quick reroll because I didn't get the xenobiology is combat level 0. Yeah, they're not gonna be hard enough. I want harder aliens, please. Start. Okay, Oceania, Fontus, Mayhem, severe violence, alien life, spread out. We haven't changed any settings here. This is going to be a warm world, so it's going to be a bit more tropical. Has even less heavy elements, but we'll roll with that. Again, I'll probably get around something like 25% land, or a little bit of mountains at least, if we can get some variety in the mountains. This planet class seems to be giving me no mountains no matter what I'm doing. I didn't do any pre-rolls here, so I'm kind of winging it. Okay, that's what we're getting. And then auxiliary info. Xeno combat level 5, that's not what we want. We want them to be tougher and scarier. 0, that's not what we want. Okay, 7's gonna be good enough. And then let's get something in the hundreds of thousands of million. So let's see if we can roll up the population a bit. Get something closer to where we were at the beginning. As I'm rolling, I'm getting worse. There we go. That'll work. 500,000 people here. Okay, continue. And that gets reduced to 3.5 million. So this is what we'll roll with. Dissolution War reached Zasonium Lumos in the year 8008. War consumed all. Technology fell to barbaric levels in a century of warfare and collapse. Survivors left is 3.5 million. In the early phase of the Dissolution War, the battles that raged across took an enormous toll. Over 156.8 million soldiers and civilians perished in the merciless battlefield. To make things worse, nuclear fallout claimed the lives of many. We're 219 years since the end of the collapse. And this is the final overview. That's an uncomfortable amount of ammonia in the atmosphere, which is probably why the atmosphere is not as toxic to breathe. The alien tissues have no nutritional value, and we're not going to be farming outside. So that's all fine. We are going to have a little bit of hazard level with things having to live in the atmosphere, but that'll be fine. It's also a fairly low gravity world, so we may have the ability to get some pretty interesting planes early on. Adam's Range Imperium. Okay. Keep the title of Emperor. We'll even keep that sigil. This is what it's providing for as, I think, default suggestions here. We'll roll with that. That'll be fine. The great cities were destroyed in the Dissolution War. The remainders of humanity dispersed into the wastelands, hiding, scavenging, fighting, trying to scrape out a living, trying to survive. The forefathers of our Imperium were among them. They were not alone. Other survivors fleeing the destroyed cities had followed them, though these others were aggressive and tried to enslave our forefathers. How did they manage to purify or pacify their enemies? To purify the enemies. Getting a little ahead of myself there. We can pick between government, enforcement, and commerce. I'm always partial to commerce because I like the early monetary boost that gives me. But we did that last time. I tend to find, especially with corporations turned on, that government's really hard to get going. I think I'm going to do enforcement this time. Upon stability returned, there were those who did better than others, who were the people that grew richer and more powerful than the masses. Clever ones that controlled key resources, the artisans that worked hard and supplied goods and services that were needed, or nobody, people who tried to amass more wealth than others would execute it. Diplomacy can be a little bit harder with Fist. We actually did quite a bit of diplomacy last time on Mind. Although technically it's easier to do with Heart. I think because we're going to be on an oceanic world, I'm going to want to make better use of militia. So we're going to go Fist for the extra militia. We went Merit last time, although we didn't necessarily have the best of luck at trying to stay Merit. I think I'll go Democracy. Adam's Range Imperium preparing our turn to play. Adam's Range Imperium, round 1. We suffer no losses, nor many kills, and that's good, because I'd be worried if we'd lost stuff during round 0. We have 4 decisions awaiting us. The previous Emperor is now buried. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. It's now up to you, or us, to lead the Imperium to victory. You are the Emperor of Adam's Range Imperium. Some subjects cheer your ascension, but not all. You will have to hail and address the Imperium as soon as possible. And our first era, our first Zeitgeist, wanders the land. It is a time of relative calm. Gain extra political power every turn. Okay. These are our starting fate packs. We got a radiation leak. That might not actually be too bad to fire off early. I remember what that one is. I think that's just extra danger. And using that to get like a mother load or the GR infiltration modules not be bad. Okay, so we got the Ascension speech, where you can basically pick to double down on either enforcement or pick one of the other ones. Org decisions, so we get to pick our first org. We'll look at our starting situation before I do that. Threat of war. So one of the neighbors is just like straight off the bat. We're threatening you with war. Okay. High leader of Paysandor has contacted us that his forces are ready and willing to invade us. He noted that he, however, is reasonable. A small payment of 600 credits will buy them off. And we got a unit decision. The unit decision is the only one that's easy here. we're going to get a Claymore Expert and get more enforcement. We'll come back to those decisions. Oh, these have re-enabled. Yeah, I pulled apparently pulled one of the files that I meant to not pull. So, share metric, let me usually live off. There is the show the device. Turn the show device off. Okay, it did keep the sound files. We just the show device apparently toggled this all back on. Back to the game here. I'll dismiss those so they stop getting in our way. Okay, so we got this little starting area. We got a road off to the west here, which presumably... Oh, maybe presumably isn't going towards the miners. So the northeast is the people who are being a bit threatening. I think here we're just going to go for enforcement. So the choice here is orgs. If we really wanted to lean into the fist, we'd say no, and they did declare on us. I could... can I even get enough money? That's maybe a different question. Yeah, I should be able to get enough money. I could vend some stuff off and make it up to 600. So there's a choice of, do we want to do diplomacy with these guys? In which case, we already know they're a bit threatening. And I think they're a type that we could negotiate with. So we might technically be able to add them to our empire through negotiations. In which case, for the org, we would probably want to go foreign affairs for our first org. Let's do some opening reconnaissance with our stunning stuff.
We're taking fire!
Of course, I'll run face first into the local wildlife, probably. There's something there. Okay. Okay, so I suspect they're actually to our west. City's probably like there or something. Horrible reconnaissance. What local wildlife having real high stealth points? Yeah, we're gonna have that sort of fun this game, apparently. We don't even have 100,000 people in the starting city. That's gonna be tight. Yeah, I'm leaning towards the diplomacy option because I'm not sure we're gonna have enough troops right off the beginning. And I'd rather deal with the animals rather than the actual people we can negotiate with.
Yes,
Foreign affairs. So we can do that diplomacy because we're going to be forced into early diplomacy here, one way or the other. It's all the rare earth off, and that will be enough. Okay. I just bought rare earth. That was the opposite of what I wanted to do.
Yes, sir.
Gotta read which one I'm on. Okay. Throw to war. Yes, we'll bribe them as much as we'd like to stick to fist. Who do I have as personnel? Assigned. We had a cap 3-person with some bribery. Okay, so they'll fit the role that I need right now, which is to have someone do some bribing and diplomacy and stuff. And what's the quality of our advisor? Okay, the advisor is definitely not worth doing that, because they've only got charisma 23. And then you actually have diplomacy of 11 already, although your charisma is not very high. So yeah, we'll probably put the reserve pool member because of the higher charisma and the initial starting bribery skill in as our foreign affairs counselor. And then we don't have very many starting cards. We don't even have enough political power to roll the junior there. And then radiation leak is just danger, right? Yeah, 4d10 actually is danger. So once we've got danger trending down, I'll probably roll that just to get the fate points. And that is our opening turn here. So let's cycle the turn and see how long it takes for these turns to actually cycle. I think this is a smaller planet with fewer regimes than the previous run, so it should cycle a little bit faster. I don't like how aggressive a deployment that is. And we're getting attacked. We hold. We kill 200 infantry over the end turn. It's round 2. These turns are definitely a little bit more manageable than they were in the last run. We got 4 decisions awaiting us. Okay, we got 200 Black Republic grade infantry. And we do have some adventurers down there. Adventurers discover a special location. We'll come back to that decision. Private balance. This is probably fine. We'll take the 33-65 split. Usually I get like 50-50 between the first two, or the Supreme Command Council and the first org. But usually that's because it's like eco or military or something. Foreign affairs, we don't need that much of investment. The org decision is who we're putting in charge. We got one person put in charge. You have the job. And we only know about minors at the moment, so let's focus heavily on minor diplomacy.
Sir, yes, sir.
And then I gotta make the decision. Do we think we can hold that? I suspect because it's so early. The answer is no. +1 zone loyalty, yeah. We are surrounded by non-aligned. There's a territory there. We don't know what sort of territory. Looks like it's just non-aligned between us and them. Their state is unclear. We're not going to just roll a blind offer protection here, but that's the only diplomacy card we have right now. Okay. Oh, we do have a shadow diplomat, so we're not quite there, but we're actually surprisingly close to get something like that off. So I think we're going to tell these guys no. Okay, these guys aren't at war with us. So I can probably safely hold that swamp with you. We're going to do that hex. That hex. I don't like that we didn't reveal that zone. Yeah, I think it's someone on that zone. No luck with getting more militia yet. We may have got some replacements delivered to you. No. No replacements have been delivered yet. Okay. Yes, I don't think we can hold that. Oh yeah, and it's going to be through swamps. We're not holding that. Best we might be able to keep the militia alive, as we know here. We radioed them back that we cannot make any promises and they will need to look after themselves. As I told them, get back to base, basically. Okay, let's cycle the turn. Okay, they're definitely not respecting my borders as much as I would like, but I suppose it was their territory first. Winter in the Snow is back. We get attacked. We held. Oh no, we didn't hold. I misread that. Flip the sides. Our guys go. I think they'll be destroyed. We killed 100 infantry. We lost 300 infantry. It's round 3. Rumors that that territory is up to hive level arachnid. Okay. We don't necessarily know if that's that territory. And yeah, we lost 2/5 or 3/5 of that unit in one go. Okay, no more militia has deployed yet. I'm gonna back off because I'd rather control that population than that hex. Although, really, we need both. But again, I think we've gone for the early diplomacy path here, so we may literally get it back via diplomacy. So let's not panic about this. We think we can do diplomacy with the scavengers. That seems believable. I think we can do diplomacy with scavengers. They have some number of unknown population over there. We got minor war, just kind of the opposite of what we want. Kind of want peace, but we'll keep rolling. Saving up manpower. Do I want to... Because I could deploy the brigade now. Grandma Junior. No, let's deploy the brigade now. We can use it for a little more reconnaissance, hold a little more territory. Raise the formation of... With the operational HQ, brigade-sized of infantry. One brigade for a single city is probably not enough to suppress the militia production. Although much more than that will probably start suppressing it. So. And yeah, I really don't want to be fighting... If we are going to diplomatize those people into our empire, we'd prefer not shooting up their militia because we're going to inherit them. And I think the south and the east, I think that is wildlife. Adams Range, round 4. We got 2 decisions. Another one is at hive level. Okay. So we know there's arachnids out there. There be giant spiders. Giant man-eating spiders. Okay, so that's secured us some territory. I'm a little worried that I'm not getting reconnaissance out into the marsh, but it's also marsh. Okay, get those reinforcements deployed. Military advisor requested. High leaders requested to supply them with a few dozen military advisors. They want to increase their military enforcement in a spirit de corps. They offer to pay us money in exchange for sharing our knowledge on how to instill military enforcement. I appreciate this is providing more fist than autocracy, but we'll roll with autocracy. Autocracy is suppressible with democracy. Yes, good for our relations.
Sorry.
Unit decisions, you are... You could be worse. I will say that, you could be worse. But you are now the commander of the 1st Light Infantry. May you live long, and hopefully not die too soon. Okay, oratory roll, 27. Ooh. We run the risk of failing here. And more importantly than failing, we run the risk of critically failing. Which we would like to avoid doing. Sadly, Shadow Diplomat does not buff oratory rolls. Propaganda Assistant does. So Director... Foreign Affairs. We're going to burn our fate point to get a propaganda assistant there. How much does that buff us? It hasn't. Let me guess, because the Director of the Foreign Affairs, we just gave the propaganda assistant to... Has no levels in oratory yet. Okay. So it's a... Until we get some other stuff. We're getting cross-training as well. Cross-attacks, which is... Yeah. Improv bonus 4... Leader relation bonus is giving us 17, which is actually pretty good. Yeah, weirdly, we're almost getting a better result if we were to roll the offer protection. I'm gonna take the risk of proposed peace here. in whiffing it?
Sir, yes, sir.
Okay, so we rolled a 79, which was enough. We needed to roll a 69 or up to succeed. So we succeeded here. There be peace. There be peace in our time. That means I can redirect the troops to more important frontage. Because now we don't need to hold the northern border. And again, I suspect this road leads straight to that city. Straight to the city. So we're going to want to acquire that road. I just don't necessarily want to pull it and pay with too much
Taking fire.
blood and sweat.
Requesting backup.
Especially when we know there's something on the road. Oh, and you're dead. Okay. I might actually be better off just telling you to... Well, can I scrap you? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
We'll forget it. Basically, we're just watching them starve, so just telling them to disband is a little bit less morally painful. Yeah, so when we get fear under control, we're going to want to hit radiation leak, so we can get the 3 pay points we need on Galactic Republic infiltration methods. So we can do what they're doing to us, which is be stealth here. Cycling the turn. We're getting attacked. We stood firm, but we paid for it. Oh. We're losing guys. Some of these fights, we're not losing guys, but a lot of them, yeah. We killed 7 infantry at the cost of 400 infantry and 10 guns. This is round 5, and we got 2 decisions awaiting us. Average security in our zones reaching at least 5 is attempting, and in a way, somewhat easy. In some ways, it isn't very easy. We do want to pick here. So the question is, I don't really want heart or mind. Although, the heart and mind choice, if we're not fighting, that's really easy. If we can't afford to build assets, that's really easy. We're going to go with the one that's actually probably the hardest one, which is that one. Scavengers offer to trade us machinery. But I have to have money. Okay, so we'll make sure I'm on sell this time. I'm on board of just selling off all the rare earth metals.
Yes, sir.
To buy the thing that we'd be turning the rare earth metals into, which is machinery. So that's a good deal. I'm on board with that. Doesn't bother me. Ah, the militia was nice. They have rewarded us for our struggles with a new truck. Militia unit. A lot more reconnaissance.
We're taking fire.
And we're still getting ambushed, because we still don't have enough line of sight. I now have enough that we could be looking at how terrible the fight is, and... yeah. Bane Tow Dog. The Bane Tow Dogs block our path. They are solitary herbivores. They have the following feats. Chameleon 5, which is why we're having such difficulty finding them. They have 150 hide points. Aggressor. Higher chance that it'll take the initiative and attack. Jumper 3. Bonus in Mountains and Ruins. Okay, that's at least not coming into effect here. Reflexor 5. Up to 15% chance to escape a certain death per level. It's going to make them really hard to kill. Bane. If the attacker misses this creature when attacking, the attacker loses morale. That's not good. And Trapper. 40 entrenchment points per level. Yep, they're gonna be fun to get through. At least infantry.
Fire when ready. Yes, sir.
Just dump some ammo into them, see if that makes a difference. It probably isn't going to be enough. 5 replacements. We got card-wise. We got an Overture, which we don't need. Offer Protection. What are we rolling up against? 60 versus 145. So that's going to be worth doing a Shadow Diplomat on our Director of Foreign Affairs.
Sir, yes, sir.
And then offering protection to them. Here we now can't critically fail, and that's why it's worth the spear.
Sir, yes, sir.
And we succeed. Okay, so that's off to a good start. The combat situation isn't super good, but the rest is going decently. Okay, so that, at least until we think we can handle the wildlife in the east. That's actually really about as far as we want to push. The problem, of course, is we need to go south. I'd like to get about that far south. I'd like to get about that far west. And we got some scary stuff in the way. Which weirdly might actually be better to handle defensively. Might be better just to try to hold our ground and get them to come to us. Okay, everything else is stable. Let's cycle the turn. We got attacked, we held. Not trading super well. We, oh no, we didn't hold. So we lost the Hex, but we, inflicted some casualties. Okay, we killed 300 infantry, we lost 200 infantry. It is round 6. Twitch saying, or first time chat for Twitch saying, "Heyo, happy to see someone streaming this game. How bad are the aliens?" We went for really bad aliens. Intentionally went for some really bad aliens. The xenobiology combat level is 7. So we went for particularly deadly aliens, and they are not disappointing. Nothing else to do there. We now have enough reconnaissance off the guy up north to see that they basically stretch along the edge of the thing. They do got a road leading out to the west. There is something out here. Oakland. So it looks like there's another scavenger next to the scavenger. Good to know. Can I... okay, so I actually have... I have enough recon on them that I can see them. They don't like us enough, or we don't like them enough from a difficulty standpoint. That's not a roll worth rolling, but that's a thing to remember for the future. I think for offer piece, here, we'll come back and look over piece. Give us a breakdown. Yeah, it does give it a breakdown. $150 minus 2 times your current relations with the target regime. Minimum base difficulty is 50. Modified for aggression. Other factors, further modified by fist profile and mind profile. So, usually heart makes these easier. For proposed peace, apparently it's mind makes it easier. Okay. And the difficulty is... Oh, and the difficulty is actually being halved right now, apparently, so... Because we're unclear. Because apparently then you're clarifying your diplomatic position. Yeah, nothing else we want to do from a card perspective. We did go foreign affairs early because I felt that negotiating peace on that north border was imperative, and it probably was, given how scary the local wildlife is. Deployed more reinforcements to our field units. Cycle the turn again. And to be fair, with the number of militia that we see sitting on our border from the people from the north, I am not regretting that Foreign Affairs Council, because even if we don't unify with them anytime soon, that would have been a hostile amount of troops. So by establishing peace with them, and they were threatening to be pretty hostile if we weren't trying to establish peace with them. We've secured the northern border, let's say. We killed 4 infantry over the turn. This was actually a pretty good turn as far as defense goes, around 7. Okay, so the marsh has frozen in the winter. I think this was marsh up here. That's gone and frozen. Okay, that's not too bad. Other than it's a reproducer, so it's actually multiplying and going over time. And I think it fights better than our infantry. Yeah, it's about 50% better than our infantry. So I got a unification, which probably doesn't make sense to roll this early. Yeah. We don't get the road. And we'd probably be wanting to take the road very early on if we were to actually succeed on that roll. And it's a 3D100 roll, so it's a hard roll. Or 3D100 is the difficulty on the roll. We'll recruit all 500 here. Only 300 of them should deploy, and the rest will be in the SHQ, but that'll be fine. Danger is uncomfortably high. And yeah, the regular militia forces here, or the military is suppressing the militia forces, which is a little undesired, but is what it is. Okay, well, let's workshop up some bullets.
Yes, sir.
And then I've got enough industry. Otherwise, I'm going to splurge. And we're going to pick up a bureaucratic office
Roger that, sir.
to increase our bureaucracy. We defend, we hold. We do lose 100 troops. We defend, we hold. No troops lost in that one. Okay. We killed 100 infantry and lost 100 infantry. It is round 8. We got 7 decisions. Dome breach is not good. Org decision. We can pick up the next org. I'm gonna go with Model Council here in hopes that we pull some very useful orgs. Yeah, so let's downrate the foreign affairs a little bit. We need the specific variety in the card access there, not necessarily
Yes,
a
sir.
lot of cards. You want the population happiness to go up. I would like so too.
Roger
I will
that.
accept. We may fail, but we'll accept. Don't breach. You got
Yes, sir.
political power to
Roger
support
that,
that.
sir.
Critical success. That's good. Scavenger officer of trade. We would like to do that. Natural born killer. We'll
Yes.
make a commando for the enforcement. Okay. Run sale. Okay, so that's going to be what we're doing. So we're going to sell the machines off. That allows us to turn around and say, hey, we can buy the machines from you. We get 11 for basically what we sold the 5 for.
Sir, yes, sir.
I would like to give in to some of their demands here. Yeah, I'd like to give in to some of their demands there. Can I pull that much money out of behind? Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Yes, sir.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
I can't because the merchants don't have that much money to give me. Okay. Well, that's what it is. Okay, so we're gonna have to say no there. Do I take the 50-50 on the merit, or do I take the send in the troops option? Let's attempt the 50-50 on the merit.
Yes, sir. Roger that, sir.
We failed. So unrest increased by 30. Okay. I'm gonna grab these 5 replacements. This will dump them in the SHQ, which will help with the upcoming suppression of unrest. And then how goes the construction? Bureaucratic offices did complete. So we'll have more bureaucratic points going forward, which will get model designs going quicker. Most notably from the model designs is we can get an upgrade to the riflemen to move off in the slug thrower onto... I think it's the combat rifle? 50% more firepower, basically, so it'll make them a little bit more threatening. In fact, we can go look at the blueprint. Right, so right now we're rocking this. Envirosuit and carbine, or slug thrower, we can swap over to carbine for 50% more base firepower. And when basically all you got going for you is firepower, that's worth it. You can basically then go ahead and do... Oh, I guess the upgrade on the machine gun is the advanced machine gun, so we have only got the default machine gun. Okay. And at this point, I think we need to save up for a armored buggy to have effective combat. So an independent buggy, which we can probably afford next turn. Okay. It looks like we might have gotten another militia when I wasn't, or maybe got another militia when I wasn't paying attention. We get attacked, we hold, click the 1-1 ratio, have 4 decisions awaiting us. Okay. New director. Okay, so I need to get a person for that job. Minor worker strike. This is a lot more affordable, so we'll just pay
Yes,
to give into that.
sir.
And yeah, this is a no-brainer choice. So that's that balance.
sir.
And then I need to get someone to put in the position. I can get a junior or a mercenary. We'll take
Roger that.
both.
Roger that.
Your camp 2. You have some technician, which is might be what you were rolling for model design. Yeah. Your camp 2 and have no skills. So yeah, this one's got the win.
Order received.
You've got the job. And we immediately want you to begin upgrading the infantry. So build upon the rifle, and carbines for 50% more firepower, and the
Order
Varus because
received.
all we got armor-wise. And then, can I afford to raise a unit of buggies? Yes. Then do that. Now, buggies are nice when you're low on manpower because they do have. It's not the best place to look at it. If I go to blueprints, the best place. Recon buggies are nice because recon buggies have a. And you can sort of see it here. They have a. Population modifier. Population cost divider of 3. So we just. I suppose technically it must run. Or maybe it's tracking on the decimals. We recruited 5 units of buggies, which should technically, if 5 units would normally cost you 500 manpower, it only costs us 100. So I guess it saved a whole unit there, or a whole 100 manpower there. So whether or not it's going to deduct that later or not, I'm not quite sure. But yeah, we'll get this unit buggy. This will give us a bunch of firepower. I'm going to try and attack the wildlife, because even though this is not like perfect, this is 5mm steel plating and a machine gun. It's still a machine gun on a much better attacking chassis, which for what we want is decent. And yeah, I think that's what we're gonna get. And I don't think it's worth rolling the unification on the north, at least not until we have the road secure. Okay, that was a good fight, intern fight for us. We killed 400 infantry, took no losses. We have 2 decisions on round 10. Oh, the dome breach. That's not great. We got a militia parade. Okay. We're gonna go with this option.
Yes, sir.
You have all the political power I can give you to support that, which means we get a fail instead of a critical fail. Okay. Oh, and of course, the swamps are really bad for weeds, are they? Wheel, 60 AP cost, yeah, and we just paid, so we don't have a 60 AP to do the attack into the area there. That's, I suppose, fine. And they're still there. Okay.
We need more firepower, sir.
What's our odds? Oh, 1 to 11 with our best troops. Oh dear. Oh dear. And we need that road. That's future fun times, yeah. What's the OHQ? 1,000 machine guns. Okay. Twitch chat's agreeing with me with the sheesh. Yeah, they're not getting good combat odds there. Let's just say. Got an offer client state. What's our odds of success on that? That's pretty bad. Yeah, that's pretty bad. We're not gonna take that roll. Then we have proposed peace. That's pretty bad as well. You can't even attempt on the non-aligned here. Okay, we're gonna keep cycling turns. We should have the upgrade coming out for the infantry soon. So I think what we need to do is we need to wait until it rolls around to winter again. We maybe get a better odds on the attack in the winter. Once the marsh freezes up, we will have less maneuverability issues. Oh, and speak of the weather, it does appear, apparently. Killed 3 infantry over the intern. We have 2 citizens on round 11 here. Yep, rifle 2 is done. What's the odds that we're getting predicted here? A little bit better. 0.7 to 1. Yeah, we would need the vehicle support for that. Okay. And then let's up-design the buggy. So, our existing buggy's got the machine gun, which we can upgrade. We can up-armor it. And we can up-engine it.
Order
I'm going to do
received.
both of those. Yeah, we got the money, so we'll trade you for the
Yes,
machinery. I should probably sell stuff, so we've got some money sitting around. Sell
Yes, sir.
a bunch of metal off. Maybe the rare earth metals as well, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then let's mass upgrade all of you to Rifle 2. If we can.
Yes, sir.
Not all of them upgraded. Ah, that makes sense. We have one in yellow supply. They're out of supply. That's why they don't upgrade. And then I'm going to swap this unit over. Upgrade you to MG infantry, just to push some more MGs into all the units, which will make them a little bit submodel per submodel, a little bit on the average, a little bit more destructive. Okay. The political aid truck, the recon
Yes,
battalion.
sir.
If it's still frozen, and the freeze went away. Okay. It was still frozen, I was going to make another attack now that we got the troops upgraded. And passed on the attack because of the previous units having an upgrade available to them. Well, that wasn't a bad turn. We killed 5 infantry, 10 motorized, and 10 tanks without losing any of our own on round. Now we're on round 12. Okay, so we're going to swap you and you. And then click mass upgrade, rifle 2, all SHQ units.
Yes, sir.
There we go. So now rifle 1 should be gone. It should basically be obsolete and non-existent. Now, that's not a very big upgrade. That's like a 50% firepower upgrade. That's not too bad. And the machine gun should be filtering out to all the units. So it looks like it's going to take another turn for the riflemen to go back. We can already see some of the changes here on the territorial borders. The game's already going like, yeah, you've got better control of those hexes. Let us award them to you. I'd like a little bit better odds than that, but eventually we do want to push them back to about there in the south. That's almost tempting enough, and I'm going to say that is tempting enough. We're going to pull the armored vehicle down. What strat cards do we have before I commit to this attack? Okay, none I want to play right now. Okay, let's do the attack.
Bring in the tanks. Mission successful.
Mission successful. Hex acquired. Next turn. In fact, we've probably got enough weight. I may be able to follow this attack up successfully.
We need more firepower.
We're gonna have to wait until the next turn. And we lost the machine gun. Of all the units to lose, we lose the machine gun. Okay, so we'll follow up, get that hex next turn. The armored vehicle and the spare troop will turn around to come back over to this border, and we'll try to take over that road. Okay, I think we're making progress. And victory stay. We'll take a look at the victory state here, because I think this is going to be the last end turn of this part. Adam's Range Imperium. So things are starting to move, but over the last couple of turns, we ended up in last. So we got to do some moving. We're in last. We'd like to get out of last, although no one's at risk of necessarily running away with the game as of yet. And if we succeed at diplomacy, we're literally going to like double in population. So we're going to very happily fly from in last to probably tied for second last. Let's cycle the turn, and then as soon as the end turn is done, we're going to go ahead and put the part break in for this part. Twitch chat's been really good defense so far. Yeah, we had a pretty successful defense there. I think we're finally at the point where we can start going on the offense, which will be good. If you're watching on YouTube, because I'm recording this locally for YouTube, there should be another part up for you tomorrow. If you're watching on Twitch, when I'm streaming, I try to take a break every hour or so to get up and take a quick stretch, sip some tea, before I record the next part. We're going to do 5 parts tonight, so we're going to basically be running a stream for a little over 5 hours. So yeah. And then I try to put the part breaks midstream on the end of the end turn here. So here we are. This is where we're going to put the part break in. We will resume the next part at the beginning round 13. And over the end turn, we lost 100 infantry for the cost of killing 100 enemies. We have 8 decisions when we get back. So until the next part, I wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part, and bye for now.